What's up, people? In this video, I'm going to talk to you about chasing your losses, why you shouldn't chase your losses, but also give you a little hack where you can chase your losses without it being detrimental to your bankroll. So my name is James Blissett. I'm a professional gambler and founder of Lucrative MMA, which is my handicapping service where I help people make money from betting on MMA. So something we refer to in the gambling industry is chasing. And this is probably the number one thing that most people do when they're first getting into gambling that can destroy their bankroll. It's called chasing, right? We refer to it as chasing. And what that means is when you have a loss and you try to chase the loss. The way you do that is by put more money on a specific outcome if you've already lost on an earlier outcome. So for example, if you was betting on MMA like I do, and you was betting on one fight on a fight card, you bet on that fight and you lost $500. Now, you want to win that money back. You are annoyed, you're frustrated, you want to win that money back. And so you put another $500 on another fighter that you wasn't planning to bet on, but now you've put another $500 on that fighter because you want to win back your money. You've chased the earlier $500 you've lost, so you're chasing your losses. So first thing about chasing is that is extremely dangerous because it can and does work. This is something I realized very early on in my gambling journey, right? As we all do. I lost many bets. And what did I try to do? I tried to chase my losses. I tried to earn the money back that I had lost, right? And it worked. I won. I did earn the money back I lost. In fact, I won more. Multiple times. There was many days, weeks, months, whatever it is, events that I can think of where I had 3 or 4 bets on the day. I lost all 4 bets. And then I put lots of money on a 5th bet and I won all the money I lost on the previous 4 bets back on that 5th bet, right? So that will happen if you're chasing your losses. It's gonna happen, it's inevitable. It's just the law of averages. So if that happens, you're gonna get a full sense of reality. You're gonna feel like, oh, if I lose my bets, I can just place another bet and then I'll just earn back the money I lost on the previous bets. I can't be beat. This is known as the martingale method, right? Which basically is chasing your losses. Every time you lose, you just put more money down to win back the amount of money that you lost on the previous bets, right? So this will happen to you. So that is why chasing is so dangerous, because you're going to get positive reinforcement. You're going to get confirmation bias that chasing losses is actually a good thing, because it will earn you money sometime or some of the times that you do it. Where chasing becomes extremely bad is the times where you chase your money and it doesn't work. So for example, you put 3 or 4 bets on a specific outcome, they all lose, and you go, okay, I'm gonna chase my losses, I'm gonna put more money to win back the money I've just lost on the previous 3 or 4 bets. And what happens? You lose that bet as well. Now you don't have much money in your bankroll left. Now what do? You try and chase your losses again. You try and put more money down to win what you've lost on your previous 4 or 5 bets. And what happens? Then you lose again. Now you have no money to bet with. So what do? Now you try and borrow money, or you try and take out a loan, or you try and put the money on a credit card. And what happens? You put more money down to win back what you've just lost, and you lose again. Right, so you see what I'm saying? Chasing losses, sometimes it'll work, but the times it doesn't work, it will completely wipe you out. I'm going to say that again. Chasing your losses sometimes will work, but when it doesn't work, it will completely wipe you out. The number one name of the game in sports betting is to stay in the game. So you do not want to get wiped out. That's why you cannot risk chasing losses in sports betting, because the law of averages says that one of these times you chase your losses, you're gonna lose. It might not happen the first 10 times, but the 11th time, when you do lose, you're gonna lose everything. Do not chase, ever. I've been in the gambling game for a long time though, and I understand that it's not as simple as that. The psychology behind losing your bets is very hard to deal with, right? And depending on what level of gambler you are at, how long you've been in the game, how much bankroll you have, these type of things, it's very hard to lose multiple bets and not feel the desire to chase, and then go one step further, not chase at all. So for that reason, I want to give you a little bit of a hack that I've used in my life, that I still use in my life to this day, where you can quote unquote chase your losses, but it will not wipe you out. It will not leave you with no money to ever gamble again. It will not take you out of the game. And there's two things I suggest here, right? The first is having a fun bankroll. So what I do is I have certain bankrolls called fun bankrolls where I will have crazy bets. I will have 7-leg parlays. I will have specific long shot prop bets. I will do that. I won't use my main bankroll and put a lot of money on it, but I will have a fun bankroll where I can do this. Now, you can use this to chase your losses. So for example, if you lose 4 units on a specific weekend or an event, right? And now you're tilted, the mental side of gambling is getting to you. You really want to win back the money you've lost. What I suggest you do, instead of digging yourself into a massive hole and putting 5, 6, 7 units on a specific bet, go to your fun bankroll, accept that it's been a tough game or a tough day and you have lost some money. Go to your fun bankroll and do a 4 or 5 leg parlay. Do a long shot, bet on a plus 1,000, bet on a 10 to 1 shot. You know, something like this. What that will do in practice is minimize the risk of you losing any more, because this is a fun bankroll. You're putting 1/4 of a unit on it, right? 0.1 of a unit. You're not putting on 4 or 5 units to win back the 4 or 5 units you've already lost, right? So mentally, it's going to scratch that itch of you gambling, and you are, in some way, still chasing those losses. Because if your 7-leg parlay hits, if your plus 1,000 shot hits, you may earn back 3, 4 units, right? So you can chase your losses in a disciplined way, but in a way where you are still scratching your gambling itch, which is something which is extremely underrated when you talk about long-term gambling and the psychology behind gambling. Another way you can do this is to set aside a small amount of money that you are prepared to lose on the day if you lose all your other bets, right? So for example, in the example I mentioned previously, if you had lost 3 or 4 bets on a specific day or a specific event, but before the event you said, okay, if I lose all of my bets this event, I am going to chase my losses, but I'm only going to do it with a 1/2 of a unit, right? So you keep that 1/2 of a unit back, not to use it, only to use it if you've lost all your other bets, right? So if that day does come, if it happens and you do, God forbid, lose 3 or 4 units that day, you have that 1/2 a unit there that you've said to yourself prior to the event, I'm going to use this 1/2 a unit. What that does, again, is give you a get out of jail card, right? You still have 1/2 a unit to use if you lose your 3 or 4 units that you've bet on that event. It scratches the mental itch of gambling, and that's what the whole video is about. This is what we've spoken about. And also, it gives you a chance to win back your units, right? It also keeps you disciplined because you understand that you cannot bet more than this 0.5 units. You've set aside this amount of money for the worst possible case scenario where you lose all your other bets, and you're not going to go over this amount. You will chase your losses in a disciplined manner. Maybe you'll lose that money that you used to chase with, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because you've only used a small amount of money. So I guess to conclude this whole video, number 1, chasing is terrible and it is going to wipe you out if you don't be disciplined when you are chasing, whether that means not chasing at all or chasing with small amount of money. Chasing is dangerous and it will wipe you out. Number 2, the best thing you can do is not chase. Be completely disciplined and do not chase. Number 3, if you absolutely have to chase, then do exactly what I said. Set aside a small amount of money that you're going to use to chase, 0.5 units. Set aside a completely different bankroll where you don't have a lot of money in it and you only use to chase or for fun long shot parlays or for long shot prop bets. If you abide by these 3 rules, you're going to do a lot better long term in this gambling game, which is all that matters, to stay in this game long term. Everybody's going to have hot streaks. Everybody's going to have cold streaks. You've got to make sure you do not wipe yourself out and wipe your bankroll out if you want to stay in this game. So that's going to be the end of the video. I'll be back with another video in the future. Good luck. Hold it down. Take care of your bankroll, and I'll see you in the next video.